G'day, and welcome back to Australianguy Films. I'm Pitbull Nut, and today we have something a little special for you. I was wandering around Sausalito yesterday and I come across the Matthew Turner. It's a boat that's being built by the Call of the Sea organization and hundreds of their volunteers. All up, there's been about $6 million invested in this. All of the lumber was donated by one very generous person, and from the ground up, this boat has been built in traditional methods. All the planks came as logs. They were cut, they were sawn, they were shaped, and they were planed, and they were stuck onto this boat, and they've made themselves a 132-foot long on-deck brigantine schooner. Now, this boat is a replica of the Galileo, and this boat can be found in pieces around the bay. Over in Fort Mason, I believe, is the transom intact. This is a project manager and skipper, Chris, and he's giving final instructions for the work crew. This boat is due to launch on Monday evening at high tide. It's about 4 years old. It's been constructed here locally in Sausalito, as I said, by volunteer crew and by majority of donations, with only a little bit of money being spent on particular items. As you can see, it's not exactly a traditional boat. It has motors. In fact, it has two motors. We'll get to those shortly. It also has bow thrusters. These are required on boats of this size in a modern day, and fortunately, this boat has them, which means it will be very easy to maneuver in tight quarters, unlike her sister ships of days gone by. She has 1,790 square feet of sail area over, I believe, 13 sails. 6 are permanently affixed and 6 are hanked on. These are the propellers for the bow thrusters. You can see the nice big chunky holes up in the front, and that will make this boat a much easier boat to maneuver in and out of docks and in the harbour. Now, as I say, all the wood was donated. The decks are Douglas fir. The majority of the boat is Douglas fir, with just some oak that was brought down from Oregon. They're doing some finishing touches, some varnishing and bright work. You can see here the helm. The wheel was actually reclaimed and refurbished, as was the binnacle and the compass. You can see a little bit of modern shiny there with the engine controls and all of the rigging here. The pin rails on the starboard side full of ropes, and also the pin rail around the main mast. As you can well imagine, this boat would be a bit of a nightmare to rig. It was sitting in the water for 2 years alongside the dock while they refit the inside, and they brought it up onto the hard, and they've been doing the rigging and the final machinery fit out. As I say, it goes back in the water on Monday night. They expect it to splash at about 12 o'clock in the evening, around high tide. And there is a little bit of buzz and excitement around the harbour that this boat is finally going to go for a swim. They expect she'll be fully operational within a month or so. They are doing a lot of the final touches down below. All of the machinery is working. They're at the moment working on computers to get it all talking to each other. It is a diesel hybrid system, which is unusual for a boat like this. Usually they don't have a motor, but this one has all of the best that a modern world can provide. Now we're going to go for a little bit of a walk inside now. We go down into the forward trunk house, and this will be the galley. I didn't take much time in the galley because there's basically nothing there yet. Then we go down midships and forward into the forecastle. And the forecastle is where they're going to have the majority of the student sailors being berthed. Each one will get a berth. There's 32 berths on board, which is the maximum load for an overnight trip of this vessel. And as you can see, all the berths are quite open, and this will be quite a lively space when the boat is at sea. Here's some plans I found on the wall, and we go for a walk now down into the engine room, and you'll find two twin 250 horsepower diesel electric generators. And these are going to power this boat. It is all computer controlled. They'll only come on when they're needed, when the batteries are down to a certain amount. They will also be charging the batteries through they regenerate power when the propellers spin backwards. This is the main control panel and the main lithium-ion battery bank. They are having a small problem with one of the batteries, but that should be sorted out by Monday when the boat splashes. This is down aft, crew quarter for 4, and there's another one, matching one on the other side. So it's a square rig foremast and a delta rig aft mast, mizzen mast. The bowsprit is 25 feet long. She is an absolutely gorgeous lady. So I will be filming this as she splashes. I will be live streaming on YouTube. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, a sneak peek at the Matthew Turner. Gorgeous views in San Francisco. This is what boats used to be like. In fact, Matthew Turner was here in the 1800s, and this is a design of his. He actually, in fact, built 220 of these boats here in the Sausalito area. They were plying trade all over the Pacific, from Japan and China to Mexico and Canada, and they were a very, very successful commercial vessel in their day. Now this one is built to last. It's been built to standards, and these boats back in the day would live for 100 years, and they would work themselves to death. This boat is a sail training vessel used for the youth of today to give them an idea of what it's like out at sea, so it won't be bashed around quite so much. And with the call of the sea people taking care of it, I should expect this vessel should outlive most of us. So that's it for now. If you like this video, please subscribe. I will be live streaming on Monday at midnight the launching of the Matthew Turner in Sausalito, San Francisco, California.